All right, it should not do it again because we on my husband's phone and it's an iPhone. So I'm gonna wait for y'all to come back if y'all do decide to come back. All right, this is disappointing. I'm so disappointed in my old faithful phone, but it might just mean that it's time to upgrade. I really want to answer y'all questions that y'all asked, and I want to go back to the topic as well. So I don't know if I should keep the same video up that I had before, leave it. I don't know. Then this one is showing that it's still going live on my end, so bear with me. I'm just trying to inform YouTube that the other one is over with because it's not. For some reason, it's still showing like it's still going on, and it's not because my phone is right here frozen. So I don't know. Y'all are back. Thank you. Hey, y'all are the best. Okay. So we were helping John Doe giving him advice about his new relationship, and maybe I can delete the one that I just did, and then y'all won't be able to see it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. If it'll show up. Let me see my lives. No. Okay. Here we go. I'm about to delete this one. I can't delete it. How do I delete it? Delete. Okay. And then hold on. Okay, so the one I just did should be deleted. You shouldn't be able to see it, anything like that. It's unfortunate because y'all, you had some good stuff going on over there. But I'm trying to remove all this stuff that is not going on so it don't confuse people. Okay. Okay. Desmond, what were you saying to him about that?
Oh, basically what I was saying is that it does more so sound like a control thing than anything. And if it's happening in that area, then that may creep over into other areas. So it sounds like more so than anything, there's a conversation that needs to be had where there are two humble parties who are willing to listen to each other. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier in the fact that in relationships, sometimes women get more leeways than guys, especially when the woman may be in the wrong. And the thing is, sometimes women and men will justify it because of the traditional societal views, and that becomes a problem by and large, just because you're not taking certain things into consideration of that other party because they are a guy and because of what other people have said. So I feel like there's more so of a what most people call a come to Jesus moment that needs to be had, just so we have a clear understanding of where everybody's respect level lies at. Because not being willing to hear somebody and take into account what they're saying and all that stuff, that is a matter of respect. And if you're gonna move forward in your relationship, that needs to be there.
I think that I mean, I guess that's a good question, Miss Elite. Because that's another factor. Like, if you're dealing with somebody that's kind of young and inexperienced, they're going to be afraid to try new things. As I remember when I was young, I was afraid to try new things because I was inexperienced and, you know, like immature when it came to sex, if you think about it. Like not to be too graphic, but it's like if you're young and you don't know much about sex, your parents don't really talk to you about sex because you're not supposed to be having it. You're learning about it from people that are your age and from doing it with your partner, and you might not know your body well yet. So it's
Yeah.
like you feel nervous about not looking sexy or cute during sex because your idea of sex has been given to you by watching stuff on the internet or whatever and listening to other people. So
Yeah.
like you don't know, you don't know anything yet, basically. And you don't know
Yeah.
how to do certain positions yet. You don't know how to do a lot of things yet. So it's like if you're more experienced than
I'm
she
23 and
is.
she's 39. Yeah, that's a control thing. Sorry. That's a control thing.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like. When you have that big of an age gap and the way she sees him, she was his tutor. So there's a level of respect that she's used to. She's used to student and teacher. Students don't have certain leeways with teachers. And also, once you start getting to a certain age, it's just certain stuff you don't want to
She
do
was
anymore.
teaching you.
It's stuff on the back half of certain
I don't even know.
ages
I ain't got
that
nothing else to
you,
say no more. I don't got no advice for that because
well, it's certain things in dealing with whether men or women. Once you get older, certain stuff that physically may not be comfortable, mentally you, it's almost like two completely different generations. So certain stuff in the way that she may view sexuality or certain things are not going to go over as easy as stuff for you being 23 and now being more open to how our generation understands sexuality and what is and what isn't. So for her, it just may be a generational gap in the way you think versus the way she thinks. And it also may be a control thing to where, hey, student teacher, student tutor, however you want to do it. So again, I would say you got to sit down and have that conversation with her to make sure, hey, we can air out grievances respectfully and just make known, hey, this is kind of an issue with me and I want to address it if we're going to move forward, not even just in a relationship, but also sexually. You want to be satisfied. You're 23. You don't want to be unsatisfied just because you like this person, because that's going to create resentment in other areas. I mean, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree with you, D. I don't see her changing either. She's stuck in her ways at this point.
Yeah, she is, and 9 times she's going to be, because if nobody else has ever made her change that, then, or nobody else has ever brought it up and actually been like, well, yeah, she was willing to, then it may continue to be an issue, just because she's never had to make that change for
Right.
anybody.
So let me say this. I want to. Oh wait.
Ah.
Oh.
Mm,
Well, that kind of goes into the friends with benefits
it
thing.
does.
Can it work out? Like, can does it work out? Can you be friends? Can you have a healthy relationship from friends with benefits?
I believe you can. I
You
believe
think
it.
so?
Yeah, and here I believe it, but here's the issue. It becomes a matter of, can you be an adult moving forward? And can you be respectful moving forward from that situation if that situation is no longer there? I feel like you can be, but we're not conditioned to
I
do.
don't know.
I feel like you can because you see it, but you're not naturally conditioned to do it. And the thing is, a lot of people are not friends before they enter relationships. You're not friends with that person, so you have no investment there. Other than just being there and getting reaping the benefits of it, there's no reason to be there. There's no stakes. You
Oh. I had no intention of being in a relationship with her. Neither did she, but she just found each other hanging out more and more.
I think you just answered your question.
So it sounds like it might. This whole situation is gonna come to
Yep.
an end soon, especially if you're feeling unfulfilled by the sex that y'all are having. You're
Unless
young and you have a lot of life left to live, and
unless
if
she's
you have needs and you're not getting them, then you're not gonna be happy,
yeah.
and you're not gonna want to settle. She's already had her fun. I'm not trying to say people can't date with a huge age gap because whatever floats your boat, but a lot of times when there's a big age difference,
That's what I was thinking initially.
the age difference is really like the younger person ends up feeling controlled by the older person because the older person doesn't always want to do the things that the younger person wants to do.
Right.
And vice versa sometimes, but it's really like the younger person is still learning. They still want to travel. They still want to try new things. They're more open-minded. And the older person has been there and done that, and they're not trying to be taught any new tricks unless it's something that they're open-minded to.
Right. What is
Excuse me.
my computer?
So, I mean, that's all I can say on that, because I really don't have an experience with dating anybody that was too much older than me. The one older guy that I dated played me, but I'll say that, you know, I felt kind of like an experiment with him, honestly. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's is if it's
and
if
if
it
you felt like it was a fling, she probably feel like it's a fling
right,
too.
and I think that's
You're
why.
welcome, John. Thank you for asking a question and giving us discussion tonight. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think you guys, if it doesn't have a title, that might explain
Why she
it
don't
is the way
care,
it
she
is.
just doing
Yeah,
what she want to do. And you, like, this goes into what we were talking about too. You have the right to say you don't want no parts in it anymore if you don't,
because you're not getting
because
out
you're
of
not
it
getting
what
out of it
putting into
what you're
it.
putting into it. You're not being satisfied,
Yeah,
and it's okay to
move on.
cut it off and like
Find somebody
find
who
somebody
wants to
that
do that with
will
you.
experiment in a way that you feel comfortable experimenting. Now, Miss Elite was saying we was curious and we wanted to know, but I'm gonna just let you keep that to yourself because I feel like I have an idea, but I'm not gonna ask because I don't want my video getting flagged and then for inappropriateness. But yeah, you just have to do what you just have to do what you do.
Yeah.
You're young. When I was 23, I was trying to live my best life. Wait, what was I doing at 20? Yeah, I was trying to live my best life. So you should too. Okay, I can't tell you how to live your life, but all right, Desmond, go back to the conversation about the strawberry letter and the men and the women and privileges. Because we were we were.
He's saying he don't. He said he can tell us, but he don't want to be seen as too vulgar.
I believe he wants to tell us.
Go ahead and.
I already know what it is.
Go ahead and fire it off.
If it's not appropriate, it's not gonna post anyway.
If it's not appropriate, YouTube will flag it and they won't let it come through. So if you don't see it pop up, it's basically gonna asking you to reword your response.
Yeah, like when Miss Elite had said the word sex, I had to approve it, even though she didn't say anything nasty. It's a word.
That. Yeah. So you just gotta find a way to say it. And if they deem it too vulgar, just try to dumb it down as much as you can so you can get it on here. With the friends with benefits, well, moving past dating somebody, I feel like it can work, but again, it requires two people being on the same page and not, in a lot of ways, bringing past emotions.
I'm sorry, I have my phone up and I see that y'all are still voting on the question of the day, which was, can a woman and a man, and let me clarify, let me fix myself, because my friend that is married to a woman, she said, of course not, because I'm gay. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to exclude people that do not date heterosexually. So basically, can two people be friends after they're intimate? Yes, no, or it depends, and explain why. So he's kind of elaborating on that. Okay, go ahead.
I feel like it can be done because you see it a lot. But I feel like what happens is we're so conditioned to, once you get done with it, you toss it away. And I feel like that also comes with people who are genuinely friends and genuinely have a desire to do so. If you don't have a desire to do so, it's not going to work. Oh, well, yeah, she's not going to do that. That can cause a yeast infection. You can't do that. That's why she's saying no. Certain things cause yeast infections, bro. That's the main reason she's saying that. That's why. It's not for her just like not really being wanting to. It's that you have to find a way to. It's a certain way you got to go about it to where she doesn't have that irritation.
Yeah, you gonna
really
send her to the doctor, but
yeah, you're gonna end up sending that, like, she's gonna end up not being able to do anything.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, when I was young, I used to like experiment with like whipped cream and stuff like that. You have to be careful in your private areas as a woman. You get irritations down there, you gotta go get cream. from the
Yeah,
doctor. It's not worth it.
yeah, that's one of those things that's a health
But the
issue.
stores do sell, like, flavored contraceptives
Oh,
and
well, see, the more you start getting into like
um
legitimate
I would say, like,
it's gonna
if you're
be an
gonna try
issue.
something, I would say maybe try something like
Whipped cream,
whipped
strawberries,
cream,
stuff like that.
maybe some strawberries.
Ye-
Some people do the fruit roll up thing, but she would actually have to do that on him, right?
Yeah, and either
I ain't never did it.
well, I would
But
say
I would not let no salsa is spicy, and so is
yeah.
guacamole. Guacamole got jalapenos. Jalapenos don't belong in the genital area. Okay, sometimes if you
Oh,
eat
that's what it is. My
guacamole,
computer is
the peppers could kick the back of your throat. So imagine what it would feel like. And then what if you put the guacamole down there, and then you put yourself inside, and then your little ping gonna be burning. Exactly.
It's one of those things to where doing doing that is really, when you start doing food, it's kind of hard.
Okay, I'm done. I don't even know. I thought he was trolling, but I think he's serious.
No, he's serious, and that's why he gave different examples. When you start using certain foods, it's kind of hard in that region. Now, if you want to do top region, and
the
stomach
chest,
region,
the
then
stomach.
that's different.
Don't put it in the vagina.
When you
at
talking
all.
about lower body sections, that's really hard because you may not experience that pain, but she might.
Yes, she will if you put it in and you get a jalapeno.
Well, yeah. That so that one
she ain't going for it, period. I'm not old and I'm not going for it ever.
That's gonna be a hard one with anybody to try to get that past, just because of the after effects are gonna be so painful and so uncomfortable that she's just not really going to go for it.
Yeah, I want to apologize to you because I made an assumption and I thought that
so there's where we're going with.
I was gonna say I made an assumption on what he was gonna say,
I figured,
and it was completely off.
I knew what you were about to say, or at least I have an idea.
I have two ideas.
And I'm sure one of them I knew, but I was just like, I had an idea that it wasn't that. I had a good feeling it wasn't that, because that's something that again can kind of be worked into if she's open-minded, but I
thought she was inexperienced, but when she said her age, I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, some people at that age are inexperienced with that. It's just something that's seen as it's still taboo for a lot of people over a certain age group. But I mean, I didn't think that was it. I figured it was something
not that.
different.
I'm talking about. Remember, we were asking how old she was because we were thinking she might be shy and afraid to try new things.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't.
Once she said the age, I knew it wasn't about age. It was more so about her just not wanting to be doing something else crazy because she's. Well, now that we know what it is, she don't want no yeast infection. But if it wasn't something that's going to cause a yeast infection, it could just be like she's set in her ways and she likes it a certain way and she's not willing to try something different. But now let me clarify for you. Most women are not going to let you put no salsa and no guacamole down there.
Or plenty of other stuff.
She could be 23 just like you. Like, no.
There are some that are young and dumb. Please don't put them in harm's way by doing that, bro.
She gonna call you and think that she got something because she's going to be itchy down there.
Oh yeah, that works. But I mean,
see, that's safe.
No, it's not.
Why it's not safe?
No, it's not, because if you don't do it right, it can still burn.
Well, I don't. This is not a sex channel.
if not done correctly, it can burn.
I just meant like if you have like ice or
but she was saying. He was saying mints, but like mints.
Not mints, but like something cold. But and you got the cold and the warm together.
I understand, but there are women who do use like mints and stuff. Yeah, no,
I don't.
Not good. Not good.
It sounds like it was probably like a different stimulating type thing, or like in Girls Trip. You remember what she had the
don't do that either. And I wish people would stop advertising that. Don't do that. Do not do that. Stop
yelling at the people. They hear you.
No, because you got to advertise. Because Jada and them made it. Oh yeah, nah, I
She
definitely wouldn't
sound
be.
hella talented. You might
See,
want to wait a
no,
little
no,
bit
no, no,
before
no, no,
you.
and that no, you know what? Now I understand why you were saying what you're saying. I see why you were doing that because she is way off the mark. She way off the mark. Like, shout it out there. That ain't nothing you hear about all the time. Like, shout it different.
Ooh.
Shout it way different. I ain't never heard of that one.
How are you not satisfied?
It's not that he's from a
He
guy's
wants to try
perspective.
something different. It's how come
Boom.
I get to be the guinea pig and you won't let me be the guinea pig? So why
You
come you
want
can't be the guinea pig and I have to keep being the guinea
and
pig?
now you're using stuff that is also not safe and not comfortable, but now it's that level of equality and respect to where, oh, I can be the guinea pig and possibly get hurt because you may not understand the full anatomy, but now when you understand your anatomy, oh, you get loud and clear. it's it's him. I don't think it's just on him. I think it's him trying to be a pleasing person. So
Oh.
when you try to get to pleasing,
Yeah.
you're trying
Especially
to
when you're
say, okay,
younger.
cool.
You might feel
Now,
like I'm trying to impress you or I'm trying to make you feel like I'm capable of keeping up with you,
not
even
even
though I'm
on no,
younger.
not
That's how I felt.
it's I'm willing
And I'm
to
willing to try something
I'm
for
willing
you.
to even if at times it's not great, I'm willing to share this moment with you doing something different and open up. But
Did you enjoy the different things that she tried on you, or was it weird for you? I don't know. I wouldn't have tried some of the things she
I
tried.
wouldn't have tried
So
either
in
one of them that he named.
exchange, I wouldn't want no guacamole or salsa on me either. And I love
He said
guacamole
he
and
enjoyed
salsa.
most of them. So I mean, he's enjoyed them. So obviously she knows something. But
Will she let you do champagne and mints on her, or is she only trying to do stuff to you? That's my question.
yeah, that's the question I need answers because that
Is it
don't
just
sound right.
because you wanted to try guacamole and salsa, or was it
She did something
because
different.
she wants to do something only? Oh, girl, me too. I'm not even old school, and I don't want to wash that nasty stuff off my sheets.
That's why you go to a hotel where you don't have to clean those.
Vacations,
You go to a hotel.
date night.
You go to a hotel and be like, excuse me, can I have new sheets in room XYZ? Thank you. And basically, you just toss them overs in the hallway, and when the housekeeper come by,
You're like, what the fuck is this shit in the
basically they get down there to the washroom, and then all the sheets be green and red.
with salsa?
Right.
D is telling the truth. She gives awesome advice. I don't know. I can't do anything with my mouth full of champagne. When I asked her, I didn't specifically suggest guacamole. I just said food.
Yeah.
So then she not even trying to hear you out, man.
Then we have a respect issue.
Buy and bring your own sheets. Ugh,
Yeah.
you just made me feel so itchy.
I've heard the same thing before.
I know that's
and
right, because Valentine's Day is the most nastiest time, I'm sure. Ugh.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
But I mean, I feel like that's a good segue into what we were like. You do have certain stuff where women like to experiment certain stuff on guys, and you don't have that same leeway with women, and it can definitely cause a problem because guys are supposed to be, oh well, she's letting you have sex with her, just be happy with that, and that's not always sufficient, especially if she's the one who feels like, oh well, I can try this with you and I can try this with you, and then you try something new and it's like, nah, fam, it becomes a problem. And it's kind of deemed as selfish, but because again, like we said when we first started doing real talks this year, because the the man's body is not as valued as a woman's body, you start running into those issues. Yeah, I can understand why certain guys won't let girls touch their butts. It's something that's not always comfortable. Yeah, it's different for that. And the thing is with women who do that stuff, because certain folks talk so much, and not saying you do, Destiny, but because certain women talk to their female friends who got big mouths, and then your business ends up spreading all the way around, and because people are not mature, it ends up being a more of a joke instead of an intimate moment. folks don't want to try certain stuff. So I
Yeah.
get it. Men
It's
don't
kind of
have the
like that
same
Kevin
leeway.
Hart stand up. I think it was Laugh at My Pain or something. He was talking about how somehow the fact that he gave his wife like oral but like down like for the butt or whatever, it came up over dinner. And so he was looking at his friend all funny because of it. And I think that's what you're talking about. Like, y'all not keeping y'all business in your bedroom. And so it's like you don't even want to be vulnerable and try something different like that because people talk too much.
Well,
and even your wife, your husband talk too much.
Well, because what it's seen as is something, again, you don't have those same leeway. So guys only have so much room before stuff becomes seen in that homosexual light. You see what I'm saying? Guys you can't do certain stuff.
Thank you, John.
We
I
look forward
appreciate
to
you
hearing back from you,
subscribing.
John.
We go live. We've been going live every Wednesday at 8:30.
So
when the camera don't freeze up, y'all. This don't usually happen. This is the first time that this ever happened. So next week, I don't know. This weekend, Yosha might be going to look at phones. Cause I don't got time. Dad's look like what? No, you're not. Look, y'all see this face.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just but what happens is
it does.
Well, not so. I feel like it always should stay there.
It should, unless like a friend is asking you because they want to try something different and they're like, "Hey, have you ever tried this before? Or can you give me some advice?"
Right.
But just bragging about your sex life and talking too much,
it gets around.
And people start judging you, and then people that don't agree with what you do doing might put their judgment on you, and you feeling bad about yourself or questioning yourself.
Not that they might. 9 times out of 10, they do. And as a guy, you still run into that issue of there's only certain ways you should pleasure your girlfriend. And it becomes awkward because not only do that, but men, like the issue we had with Steve Harvey, I'll call her afterwards. Men like Steve Harvey will give certain advice from the age of his generation, and then women who are maybe in their 20s
millennials
and teens, they take that as fact because it's coming from somebody who's supposed to be older and wiser, and now that creates a whole different eye on the generation of guys who are trying to be more open and more vulnerable. Ends up putting that wall up and it shuts everything back down. So you can't make progress it's harder for new generations to make progress in certain ways, especially guys, because older guys who are raising these women, when they do certain things, and instead of women getting to know the guy that they're dating, they're looking for somebody who has the mindset of their father, and they dad hadn't always had that mindset. So you can't make progress, and it's bad because you find guys who are trying to be more open and better, but as soon as they take those steps, that closed-mindedness gets in the way, and you just don't get to make that progress you should be making. So it's different. Sex education in America is not really sex education. It's more so like sex prevention.
Yeah. I mean, you just spoke on it. I remember growing up talking about abstinence. That's what we were taught, abstinence and STDs.
Oh, I wouldn't even, we talked about it on Christmas on what my dad told me about it, but my parents didn't really talk about it at all.
I'm not talking about from my parents. My parents didn't teach me anything.
School
school taught us about abstinence and STDs. Health class kind of went over the STD portion. Pregnancy, we watched birth videos.
Yeah, we watched that.
When I was in 7th and 8th grade, I remember abstinence being pushed. And they had these little abstinence cards that we were to fill out. And then I went to church with my friend, and they had like abstinent, of course it's a church, obviously, but they had like these little bracelets they wanted us to wear. And exactly, my mom, she got pregnant very young with my older sister, and she was married when she had me. So me and my older sister have 20 years between us, and I'm the younger one. So my mom did not really talk about sex with me when she was living. She passed when I was 16, but she never had a talk with me about sex. Like she never like talked to me about anything. I do remember her saying to be careful because some men are well endowed and they can hurt you, like your
Yeah, nah, I
insides,
ain't
by being too rough. But that still wasn't nothing that's gonna make
like.
me want to ask any further questions. She
I
was like, "Don't get pregnant. Don't be fast." Like that was the conversation with my
I think
mom. My dad didn't want me having sex.
when
Period.
we got to certain areas and you got around parents who, like I said, there were certain parents as we got older who, especially guys, who would sit up here and talk about that with young boys because it's like, look, y'all got to learn, and it's somewhere, but it's only so much you can learn when you're not living with somebody. Like there's only so much you can learn. Um,
Oh wow,
wow. Oh,
that
that song,
reminds me of
Ti.
Ti, Destiny.
But yeah, it's like you didn't learn about putting on condoms. You didn't learn about.
Really? And she's telling someone something that'll be
Well,
helpful.
and
I'd
but
rather you teach me how to use a condom than tell me not to have sex at all.
well,
That doesn't
because
knock the curiosity because you're telling me to abstain. It's like when you tell a child don't touch something, it makes them want to touch
to
it
touch it
more.
more,
So
and
instead, you have to explain why they should be careful,
you have to
because
right.
that will teach them a way to prevent getting hurt more than saying don't
Don't
do
do it.
it. Like you hear don't do it all your life.
And you 9 times out of 10, when somebody tells you not to do it, you want to do it just because they're telling you not to. So I mean, it's crazy to me that people more so teach sex prevention, but as you get older, more people, once you get to a certain age, they tell you about their adventures of being underage and doing this stuff, and it's like, well, had you been that honest earlier, we definitely could have had a better conversation. Um, than we could have had a better conversation about certain things rather than me feeling like it's
Exactly,
such a
Destiny.
bad thing. But yeah, I mean, that's from what my mom says and even my uncles and stuff. Excuse me, it's just that gap of your parents told you not to do it, and they just didn't bring it up again. And more so, I feel like parents were not educated on that stuff, and they felt like because they did not want to sound uneducated and basically feel like they couldn't suffice, they they would rather you just tell you not to do it and let that lack of knowledge be there rather than try to explain what they understood and point you in the right direction of somebody else. But nah, I agree with Destiny. I would rather them do that than rather them do that than there be miss so many bad ideas of what it was, and it end up being worse later on down the line. I feel like once you get to high school, there should be somebody, if you're having health class, there should be a 9 week portion of sex ed. There should be a point where both sexes learn how to put on a condom. There should be that. There should be.
Both sexes. I'm trying to remember how old I was when I learned how to use one, how to put one on.
Yeah, but
Cause I was not.
because
It was I was probably like in college when I learned.
so
But I agree. Like you don't want to teach young children because I feel like the parents should teach their kids. But I do feel like
you want
because
to
of gender, what is it called? Gender, not privilege. Well, yeah, it's gender privilege, but it's also gender norms. Little boys are often treated differently than little girls. Little girls are not taught to have sex. Period. They as soon as they come out the womb, daddy is saying you ain't having sex till you get married. You're not having
boys are
sex till
taught
you're
the
40.
boys are taught the
Boys
same
are
thing.
not.
Yeah, they are.
Like they're taught how to use condoms,
No, they're
and
not.
you were not.
No, most
But
dudes are
some
not.
are.
Very. You would think most dudes are because dudes are taught to be hypersexual. They are not. And the reason why they're not is because
They should not. The parents need to have these discussions.
yeah, you have to have these discussions. But a lot of guys are not taught how to put on condoms as early as you think. And 9 times out of 10, the reason
I'm just saying, and the love don't cost a thing. Oh well, wait. Miss Elite says that he can't have sex until marriage. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm
good
not
because
even.
some people who have sons and daughters don't do that.
I'm
They
not
tell
even.
their daughters they can't have sex till marriage, but they don't tell their sons that. They tell their daughters they can't date, but they don't tell their sons that. That goes into gender privilege because it's like the whole Ti thing
That
that
was
came
just
up. Ti
dumb.
was like, "I'm going to the OBGYN with you every appointment to make sure that your hymen is still intact," which is an idiotic thing to say because your hymen can be broken from playing sports or anything. You could literally be a virgin and still have a broken hymen. That's first of all. But um secondly, his little boys, I can guarantee you. I won't say his little boys like the kids, but
But
his
his older
teenagers
sons are, yeah.
that are some of them are younger than his daughter are not held to that same standard,
Yeah,
and
and
that is a
that's
gender
definitely, yeah,
privilege.
that
That's all
is.
I meant. I'm not saying that parents teach their kids how to use condoms or whatever, but I'm saying more boys are being taught how to use condoms than girls.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Well,
girls
here's
are not even given the opportunity to go get on birth control because their parents want them to be abstinent, and they're telling them you can't have sex till you get married. So then you have teenagers that aren't supposed to be having sex per their parents' rules, sneaking and having sex and doing it wrong and getting STDs or getting pregnant because
You're
they
right.
can't talk to their parents.
You're right. I
And then in
agree.
school, you're not learning how to use condoms either because you're learning abstinence.
Well, here's the thing. Folks have to stop acting like sex is not gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's just facts. Whether you give permission, whether you don't give permission, it's so it's so many there's so many times where you sit down and you look at it, and it's so many times you look at it and folks just because they again create that idea of not my kid, it's just like
I'm not even gonna create that idea.
yeah, I'm not
I'm gonna
either.
go to what age did I start being curious about boys? Okay. All right. Expect it. But try to be inviting and not judgmental. And it really
Yeah,
does, and it doesn't start with just sex. It starts with your children's interest in general.
right.
If your children feel like they can't talk to you
They're
about
not going
anything,
to.
they're not gonna talk to you when it's time to have sex.
Yeah,
My
but
mom and I, we didn't have the best relationship when it came to talking. Like my mama, I know she knew when I lost my virginity. I know that she knew, but unfortunately, we did not get to have that conversation. Um, and honestly, I didn't have a conversation with my dad until I was engaged the first time to my son's father. He assumed, well, okay, you about to get married. Obviously, you're doing stuff. But like I just didn't tell anybody. I felt afraid of being judged. Like my dad wanted me to be this perfect little girl, and that's how he viewed me. And so I didn't want to disappoint him. At the same time, with my mom was so afraid that I was going to be like her and get pregnant at 15 years old, like she did with my older sister, that she just like was, no, I don't want you to date. No, I don't want you to have sex. No, I don't want you to do this and that. You're being fast. And it's like when you do that to your kids, they're not going to talk to you. And so what do I end up doing? You end up asking your older cousins, YouTube, being curious and learning from people that don't really know either, instead of the people that have lived longer that can actually tell you, from a place of love and wisdom. Now, of course, we don't want our kids coming home pregnant because you sat there and let them. Like, I don't think it's nothing wrong with waiting until married. That like my religion says to do that. I didn't do that, but I suffered for not doing that. And I'm not pushing my religion on anybody, but I understand now as a married young adult why he wanted us to wait until we got married, why we should wait until we get married, because there's emotions tied to it. There's drama that can come from it when you don't wait. You end up with baby daddies that you don't like, baby mama drama. You end up getting your feelings hurt. You end up, you know, chasing love in all the wrong places. I dated so many people that were not right for me before I met my husband. And I was just tying myself to people. Soul ties. Somebody commented on my question on my community and was like, I don't think you can do friends with benefits because of soul ties. Like, she got, her answer was really good. She talked about soul ties. She talked about you can be friends with, you can be friends after being intimate if you have kids together and y'all have to co-parent. I do kind of agree with that because for the sake of your kids, y'all are gonna be cordial. Now, I don't consider my child's father my friend. I consider him an acquaintance, if that. I don't really speak to him much. Like, at one point, I thought we would be good friends because we had known each other for all these years and stuff. But realistically, I wouldn't consider that man my friend. You know, I don't wish bad on him. I'm cordial with him, but we're not really friends. Friends are people that you can call up and you can chill with, you can do things with. Like, y'all can count on each other. And so our dynamics to me is not friendship. But for the sake of my child, I'm going to respect you. You're going to respect me. When it comes to our kid, we can talk about it. That's it. But when it comes to all other friends with benefit situations, it just gets messy because your emotions get involved. You are being intimate with each other. And women and men think differently. Like my husband was saying, men think logically, women think emotionally. When we release, a lot of times you feel a connection to the person. But for him, it was just a physical act, and that's it. Like, it doesn't mean love. Women use sex to get love. Sometimes men use love to get sex. They say the word love to get the sex from the woman. Sometimes because they know that if they don't, the woman is like, well, I've been taught that I can't give you myself if there's no love. So I feel like it was intended for marriage for a reason, because when you're married, you are more likely for it to be a lasting relationship. You're supposed to be till death does you part. Your emotions that you have after having the sex should not be taken lightly by the person that you're giving it to. Any other relationship outside of that, it may or may not work. It may or may not work, and that's just the truth. Hi, Florence. Welcome back, Victoria. Exactly. So I'm like, I won't be so judgmental with my kids that I'm like, you better wait till you get married because you gotta wait till you get married, and that's what blah blah blah. I'm not gonna do that because I didn't do that. But I'm gonna try to explain, like, hey, baby girl, baby boy. If I have a baby girl, I only have a boy. But baby girl, mommy didn't wait, and this is what happened to mommy. Mommy had to be a single mom. Mommy went through a lot of heartbreak. Mommy had hard times, and she had to grow up and put her big girl pants on in her early 20s. I didn't get to enjoy living my best life and being selfish in my early 20s because I became a mom. That's the reality. And then with sons, this is the reality. My husband would be really good at telling this story. You are a man. Society is not set up to serve you. If this woman decides she don't want you, she can take control of your kid that y'all have together. If you don't get custody, if you don't have rights, he will be the one to mainly advocate on that. So it's like, yeah, you could be a dad, but it doesn't necessarily give you rights. This woman can choose to control you with child support.
Well,
And
yeah, I
you could,
mean,
if you
I
get
would,
caught up in that, then
I
hey.
would, yeah, that's a conversation. Even with going to child support, we.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the reality that I will tell you. I'm not gonna tell you that it doesn't feel good and that whatever. I'm gonna try to say, like, how I'm real here on this channel is how I'm gonna be with my kids. Period. Like, I'm telling you from a place of love that you should wait because there are consequences that come with it. Not just getting pregnant, like getting your feelings hurt. And then being a guy, imagine being a guy and having your feelings hurt. And you're a guy and you're taught that you can't even express how you feel. You're supposed to just be strong and not show emotion and not be depressed. But here you are.
It's one of those
It's
things where, as a guy,
Yeah, we got to do better as parents. Because the schools could do better with teaching prevention versus
abstinence.
abstinence. And the parents need to do better with not trying to sweep it under the rug. I feel like the millennial generation and what is the new one called?
I don't know.
Generation Z, I think. Whatever. The ones that was born after the millennials, the 2000s babies. Um I feel like they are a little more open-minded with things. Not to say that there aren't some, like, oh gosh, I can't even remember what it's called. What's the boomers are the really older people, but
Yeah,
what's the
my
ones
dad
in
is.
between?
I'm not sure. I
Your
don't
dad's
even.
not a boomer.
Yes, he is.
Oh, he is
Because the
not.
boomers are like from a certain age to like 1960 or so. Yeah.
So my dad's a
No,
boomer?
I don't know if it's a.
Your
I
dad's
don't
not a
know. We'll
boomer.
see.
It's the one in between. I'm finna Google
Either
it.
way, I don't
Somebody in
really
this
care.
chat is in this is age group that I'm talking about. And y'all
But
know what I'm talking
it's
about.
people born whatever it is. More
The
people are
people
set in
that
their
are
ways.
basically like 35 and up. 35 to 52. Let's just say that right
Oh yeah,
now.
no, that wouldn't be mine. That's not a boomer. Period though. The
Boomer
boomers are after
boomers are
those.
the ones that were born in like the 50s.
Yeah, my dad was born in '57.
I don't think your dad's a boomer.
Okay,
My dad was born in 1960. My mom was born in 57. And she's
we'll
not a boomer. It's the one in between, I think.
we'll look it up afterwards.
Y'all
But
get what I'm trying to say. My point is the generation differences made it so at that time you were not supposed to talk about sex. Like back then, like my dad told me, like if a girl got pregnant before she got married and she was young, they would move her to another city and the baby because it was embarrassing. It was like a shame
which is
to the
so
family. It's
stupid.
not like that anymore.
It's
So
so
that's all
stupid.
I'm trying to say. Like we can't be like the older generation tradition and like be embarrassed and not want to speak about it to help prevent it because maybe baby girl wouldn't have got pregnant in the first place if we would have had them conversations and we didn't have to sneak
And there was a
around.
lot of other stuff going on back then that was so taboo and not talked about that it was
Cheating and having other families and that type of stuff.
nah like having creepy uncles and aunts who did stuff that the family just decided to bypass instead of addressing. Because
Oh.
that was a lot of those situations too.
Oh.
But
That's
again
so
because
dark. I didn't want to
well
go there with that, babe.
again because of transparency.
So yeah. I know he's right, but I
So
didn't want to go
it
to that
becomes
sad place
well
with
no
it.
that's just facts. It's just
I know
facts.
it's
It's
facts, but it's
people.
triggering. I'm gonna get it.
I
I'll be right
mean,
back. Oh,
it more so becomes a thing of
it's cold in
if
here. You turned the air on? The air didn't need to be cut on. Just to turn the heat down.
it's just more so a thing of transparency. I feel like if people are transparent and not so willing to feel like, oh well, my child gonna judge me, folks gonna get judged anyway. We can't control that. But if you can educate somebody along the way and not be afraid to be honest, you never know who you could help. Um, I mean, I wish my parents would have had that conversation with me, but they did not. My dad had a literally a one sentence conversation I told Yosh about on Christmas, and that was it. That was on the way down to Savannah of me going to college. That was our whole conversation was a sentence. That was it. And I mean, that's just what it was. My mom just didn't talk about it at all. So that's just the way it was. That's just the way it is. And I mean, like I said, parents are raised differently. So that is what it is. But I feel like those gender norms don't always help. I feel like folks not feeling like they can be honest without it always being something does not help certain situations. Um, I mean, we listen to a podcast that is very open and very honest about certain stuff, and it can definitely be if you're not in that mindset of being completely honest and being yourself, it'll throw you for a loop and it'll make you not want to listen to it. But it always depends on where you truly stand on a situation and where you stand honestly. Um, I mean that's all I can really say on it. It's tough though. Definitely like when I talk to my friends, we're open about everything and not going into specific names or stuff like that. But I mean, it's just good to have those friends that you can be open with and honest with. I had stepped away, so what else did y'all talk about? It sounds like y'all were still in the same realm of.
You accept the way?
I went in there to use the bathroom. You didn't realize I was gone?
I just went and got some applesauce.
No, I'm talking out when I left before you got up and went and got applesauce, baby. I went in the
Oh,
room and plugged my computer up and used the bathroom and came back. You look like y'all were still going in the conversation.
I don't remember because you
Oh,
were talking for a long time. I don't remember.
oh, okay.
I think we finished whatever we were talking about. We were
I
talking
was.
about the same thing. Like,
That's all I wanted to know.
thank you.
Thank you. That's
I'm
all I
trying to
wanted to know
remember
was
what I think we
where y'all
were.
were
We
at.
were
That's
talking
all.
about something. I was hungry and I went and got some applesauce. So I don't
It's
remember.
fine. I was just
Well, let's
wondering.
scroll up because they were commenting while we were talking. I could
Well,
probably
no,
tell you.
most of the comments didn't change in between the time I was gone. I
Okay.
had read the comment about Martin using the word love to get her into bed, and then all that other stuff followed. I don't feel like I missed no comments there, but yeah, I mean that's something that
Hey, Leah.
that's definitely something that it's something that's conditioned to us. Like
Did everybody share something that they were grateful for? I don't think Florence did. And
I was
Leah
at.
just came, but I have everybody share
No, but I would love to. That sounds very, very good, Miss Elite. That sounds so
peach
good.
sauce. No, this is just some unsweetened applesauce from Sam's.
I would love to try that because peach sauce is good, and I like peach applesauce, and I like frozen peaches, like the
I knew
diced
you
up
were about to
frozen
talk
peaches.
about them frozen peaches,
So
Desmond.
yeah, I would like to see that. All it would be. So I'll be looking for
Mott's
that.
makes it. Okay,
I'll be
we
looking
want to
for
look
it.
for it. But okay, let's go back to what we were supposed to talk about from the beginning. Okay, I'm going to give a recap real quick. We were listening to the Strawberry Letter, which is basically a Steve Harvey morning show segment where people write in and ask Steve and Shirley, what's the lady
Yeah,
name?
Shirley Strawberry.
Shirley for advice. And today's story was about a guy and a girl that were dating.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait.
They
Were friends.
They were
Sorry. They were
friends.
friends. Oh, you love it. Daz loves it too. And because of him, I've started watching it. So, or listening to it. So, the guy and the girl, they've been friends for some years. The girl got out of a relationship and they kind of got close, started being intimate with each other, right? Okay. They were being intimate. It was going great. It was enjoyable. Things were good until the girl called her friend her ex's name. So he didn't say nothing about it the first time. He figured it was just a mistake. He didn't want to make it awkward for her. So he didn't say anything. It happens a second time. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna get this what's going on. I'm about to get it. That's it. I ain't finna address it. Whatever. So then, some more time goes on. They do it again on a separate time. And she calls out the ex's name the third time. So he still doesn't say anything. He's like, I'm still finna get mine, whatever. And then later that night, she sends him a text and she's like, hey, I called you the wrong name. Why come you weren't upset with me? Why didn't you say anything? And he says, well, I thought we were just having casual sex, so I didn't say anything about it. She gets mad at him and she doesn't speak to him anymore. He writes in to ask what it's elite. He writes in to ask Steve, why is she mad at me? Why are we not friends anymore when I didn't do anything? So Steve Harvey. So I missed what Shirley said, but Shirley was basically he was saying that he didn't understand women, and Shirley I ended on the part where she was like, "You won't understand women, but if you really want your friendship back, maybe you can reach out and y'all can try to work out your friendship without the sex." Because he was basically ending saying he wants his friend back, even if they don't go back to having sex. And then Steve was basically like, listen, brother, you came in there like a vulture, okay? You in the friend zone. You was waiting for your opportunity and you got it. And so then you get it and she testing you. She a wholesome girl, okay? She not just busting it open for anybody. And so she tests you, my brother. See, you young and you don't know no better. You know how Steve be talking, right?
Steve so then like a doggone fool. That's what he sound like.
So then he's like, you messed up, brother. You was supposed to tell her how you feel, but you was trying to act like you was all cool. You didn't have no feelings. So you said it was just casual sex, and she not that type of girl that has casual sex, because she like relationships. So when you said it was just casual sex, she stopped talking to you because she had more feelings for you. So our issue, Desmond's issue, the issue is that he did not address the fact that what she did was wrong. So when I initially started the live, the whole discussion was supposed to be, there gender privilege, and are women held accountable the same way that men are? Second part to that, sometimes older generation of men encourage the behavior from women instead of calling it out. So that was Steve's answer, but Steve didn't really address the fact that she should have never called this man the wrong name on purpose to prove some sort of test. And that's what we were kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Florence, thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Steve.
This is why I do it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Steve
baby.
completely dropped the ball.
So, what are y'all thoughts? It look like y'all agree with Des, because they like called the wrong name 3 times. You wouldn't have got up after the first time if it would have been me. But hey,
it's one of those things to where, like, playing games. I'm not sure why playing games is justified, but it is, and it's not justified amongst men. It's justified amongst women. It's like you gotta pass certain tests. And I always tell folks, I ain't no good test taker, so don't test me, because certain that one I like, and that's what I said. You can't do that as a guy.
Exactly.
You cannot do that as a guy. You don't get that first time.
I'm petty too.
I'm not even trying to be petty with you. It's just like a guy cannot do that ever. Ever.
I said that.
Ever.
I said that. I said if the shoe would have been on the other foot and the woman would have been calling in and said she called the wrong name,
they would have blasted old dude and drug him through the mud. Because Monday it was not a similar situation, but it was basically this dude had side pieces and he tried to break it off, and one of the side pieces came up to his job and basically acted a doggone fool and blocked him on social media and basically said she was gonna mess around and tell his wife. Well, Steve and them drug him through the mud about that, and didn't even look back on dragging him through the mud. But it's just like, on this situation, you held him accountable there. Why you can't hold her accountable? Guys get held, when it comes to certain things, guys are held way more accountable, especially when it comes to the idea of sex, than certain things as far as being intimate and making sure you respect her body and making sure you don't make her uncomfortable and making sure you know the right name. And it's certain things that men are held accountable for that women may not be all the time. Yeah. And it's basically like I said earlier, men's right, no need to cheat. Men's bodies are not as valued. And until they are as valued, it's not gonna change.
Exactly.
And she's basically, Yoshi was saying earlier that he should have been more clear on how he felt, but he said it was.
I feel like they both should have been more clear on how they felt. Not just him.
I feel like he was clear. It's just not the response that may have been desired.
Okay, but to play devil's advocate, her not speaking to him is not his desired response, because here he is saying that he wants his friend back.
But
one of them is gonna have to be the bigger person and break the weird awkward ice. Well, it's not that.
The issue is that she messed up.
She did.
She reached out, but in reaching out, never apologized for what she did.
So it's kind of like a passive aggressive way of handling it. Yeah, she reached out as if he did something wrong by not saying nothing about her saying the wrong name.
Right.
But she the one who said the wrong name. Right. And knew that it was the wrong name.
You acknowledged your mistake. You made, the first time it was a mistake, the next 2 times it was a decision. So at that point, if you're doing that, most guys are going to either be really offended or they're going to understand, hey, this is not my role. Let me get what I can get before I get out. He took the latter. I'm not mad at him because she basically showed you where her head and her heart still is. Cool. Dope. She got mad after the last time because she wanted more from him. And instead of saying she wanted more, after she did what she did, she didn't even try to stop and say she wanted more. It was the apology that should have been said that was not said that could have led to more.
Yeah, I think so too. It sounds like friends with benefits gone sour.
Yeah,
Like she was okay with it being friends with benefits until she
until she
started to
started
like
feeling more,
him.
and he understood what
And
that role
he might have liked her too,
he
maybe.
might have,
Until
but
she did that name thing.
well, yeah, because at that point you can't even. First of all, y'all been good friends, and now you can't remember my name.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We've been good
Y'all didn't just
friends.
start
Yeah, we
talking. You
ain't.
done known me for some
Yeah,
years,
I
and
ain't
now
no.
you calling me your ex's
Right, I
name.
ain't no bum off the
Do
street.
I
I
look
ain't
like
no
him?
right. I ain't no bum off the street. I ain't no random. But now all of a sudden you can't remember my name. I'm sure you remember my name when he was jacking stuff up and messing you up and not making you feel good, and you wanted men's advice. You remember my name and my phone number real well. But now we in this situation and you can't do it.
It's okay, Leah. You're proving my point though, because you said you didn't know him very well. So
But it's
that just means that that's subconsciously that he was on your mind, maybe because you were chatting with him.
yeah, but
That's
that don't.
subconscious.
But here's the
That's
thing.
like when you mix your kids' names up
No, it's not. That's different.
because they're on your
You
mind. You mix them up. It
you
don't mean that you
yeah.
don't know their name.
No, 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 no. Not in the middle of that. Not in the middle of that moment. It's not the same at all. It's not the same at all. Not in
My
that
dad has
moment.
called me his wife's name before
Yeah, but
by
guess what?
mistake.
But guess what? I bet you he couldn't do that. He couldn't call his wife your name while they was doing that.
Ew,
You can't do that. No guy has that kind of leeway. You
that's
cannot do
sick.
that. And the thing is with that, whether women want to acknowledge it or not, that is ego shattering. Because the first thing that a guy will think is that you messing around on somebody else. You messed around with somebody else, and now you done rolled back around here, and I'm just getting seconds.
Well,
Because if a guy was doing it, that would be the first thing that came up. Oh, he's sleeping around and can't remember names. If you're gonna cheat, at least get your names together.
oh yeah, because that's why I said you wouldn't have got a third time to say the wrong name. That would
Right.
have been it. Because I would have been
But
like, who is that bitch?
and that's what I'm saying, but you're not exactly. Because you
And that's the other thing. Like, that's kind of like what Steve said. He was masking his
I
feelings.
don't think dude told you what his feelings were, but I cannot be mad at him for doing that because she had already showed what she was thinking and what she was feeling.
Oh no.
You
Corey wasn't going for it.
but
I'm
you
just saying if he wasn't going for it, why he didn't say nothing. That's it.
he did. He just said it in a way that a guy normally says it. You
I don't
already
know, cause
as a guy, you already shattered his ego. You shattered him already. So why am I gonna let you shatter me that much more? For what? Why do you feel like you have that much leeway? What gives you the right to have that much leeway for me to open up to you? Because I've given you something that's
because
very
yeah, they were friends, Des, for
right.
years.
So
She's
if
not a
we're
random girl off the
right, but
street.
if we're
If it
friends,
was a random girl on the street, he probably wouldn't have let it continue.
yo, shit, he let it continue because that's your friend, and more often than anything, what he said he wanted back at the end was his friendship. Even if the sex was not there anymore, I wanted my friendship. He was already in a box that no matter what he was not gonna get back out of that box. He had already been put in a box. You had came out of friend zone and you were in a new box. When she caught feelings, you were definitely in a new area. But once had you said anything sideways like he did, even when he was being honesty, his honesty was not gonna be respected. And she, being who she is, can't even sit up here and understand why your mistake was so jacked up because you don't value his body. You value your feelings more than his body, and that's supposed to be your friend. So not only did he give you an important part of him, he gave you his sexual organ, and he probably gave you some of his emotions. But because you don't respect it, you're not gonna get anymore. And instead of you being a good person and saying, you know what, hey, I messed up. This is on me. This is my bad. How do I fix it? You blame him because you don't want to be the one in the wrong. And then Steve justified it, which is why I have a problem with Steve because you were wrong, brother. You was wrong. You haven't been married 3 times, and I'm not ragging on you being married, but you've been in enough situations with women over years to understand as a guy, you definitely couldn't do that. But if your wife did that, you would be crushed. Correct. So even if he thought of her as a wife, you better know he ain't thinking of her as one right now. Because even if she can't even be humble enough as your friend to do this. How you gonna be humble enough to be my wife? You can't be humble enough to be my friend and say you made a mistake. But you think now because you done had sex and you feel better, I'm gonna fit in that box? You can't even apologize. How dare you? But you don't respect me as a person. You definitely don't respect me as a friend, so you won't respect me as a spouse.
Where's your phone charger?
It's in the room. So it's one of them things where you can't do that. But again, because you do not, because everybody has a preconceived notion of every guy fits into this box when it comes to sex, you're not willing to learn the guy because you've already put him in the idea of what you want him to be. So you won't learn him. Even if he felt bad, when did you give him a chance to feel bad? Openly with you, when did you give him a chance to feel bad?
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying nothing, y'all.
I'm not, because every time you try to explain this to women, women feel like they have an understanding of guys. You don't. Because every guy's not the
but
same.
y'all don't have a feeling or understanding of us either.
No, we don't. And the thing is, here's the difference though. Women will say that men don't understand women. Men will say that men don't understand women. Neither sex will turn around and say that about women understanding men. Most guys will say, yes, she understands me way more than I understand her. And that could be completely off. But because you think happy wife, happy life, and you don't want to be embarrassing, and you don't want to start no trouble in the house where you lay your head, you keep your mouth shut and preserve the peace. You let her be right even if she's wrong. You don't start a problem unless it's absolutely necessary, and that's the hill you are willing to die on. But if you ain't willing to die on that hill and sleep on that couch, keep your mouth shut. You got to choose your battles wisely, even if it's one that truly hurts you to your core. But it's, again, understanding who you're dealing with. And it comes with guys being more open, but until guys being more open stops being seen as being feminine, you're not going to get that. We can't meet in the middle because women have an idea of what being feminine is, and guys have an idea of what being feminine is. And truthfully, it's not being feminine, it's being human.
You're right, Miss Elite.
I agree. You do have to choose your battles wisely.
And you have to be willing to compromise on both sides.
Yeah, but I mean, from this letter, it didn't sound like she was even willing to compromise. From what he wrote, who knows what the rest of it was, but from what was written, it don't sound like she was willing to compromise at all.
It just seems immature. I said this earlier because we attempted to do this live like 3 times and my phone kept on doing weird stuff. So now we're on his phone. But sometimes women do stupid things to test a man.
You're right, Miss Elite.
And that was the case with this. She was being immature in her decision to test him and see how he felt by playing a game.
Can I ask a question real quick? What's the purpose of testing a dude? I just want to know. Because I've been hearing women talk about this.
Women say they test. I think women test men to see where their head is. Like their point is to see where their head is, to see if they're going to be a good partner or not.
So what in that test do you not see in just everyday
actions? From my perspective, if I wouldn't have done that, but she probably did it to see how does he feel about me. And it's like she stopped speaking to him because when she got her answer, he said, well, this is just casual sex. So she probably interpreted that as, well, he don't care about me. I literally just called this man another name and he didn't care. He just wanted his nut. So that's the way she heard it once he said it. Now that's her fault because she did it on purpose. So he decided to handle her that way because of what she did. But her thought process was like, you know what? I'm going to see where he's at because I can't really tell because he's not telling me.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. That's why she got the answer she got. You did it a few times.
Yeah, she does need to mature, but you're asking why women test. It's the same thing. Like, you can test somebody by saying, you can test a man easily by saying something like, you talking to a guy, y'all been talking for a short time, you have a problem, and you tell him about it. You could be testing him just by doing that. It's not nothing, but it is. You could be testing him to see with like if you have a problem and you share that problem with the dude you talking with, and this dude is like, oh man, how can I help? Versus, dang, that's messed up. Well, I'm gonna talk to you later. You just failed a test, even though it wasn't no test that did nothing that hurt your feelings, but it was a test to see. Let me see where this dude's head is at when it comes to me. You test people to see where their head is. That's why people test you. And y'all men do it to us as well.
No, I don't.
You don't, but men test us too. It's some men that dog women out on purpose to see if she's wifey material. Why do men do that? Because they're trying to see if they think that she wifey material. It's stupid sometimes. Yeah,
I don't understand.
But it's true. You test people to see where their head is. Even I've heard men say, I'll test a woman on the first date, take her out and let her order and see what she orders. And if this woman orders a whole bunch of stuff and tries to run my checkup, I may not be interested in her because I think she's trying to take advantage.
That's not a test, though.
It is a test.
No, it's not.
It is.
That's a value of respect.
No.
Yes, it is.
You could call it a value of respect. I call that a test. Because if the woman is considerate of your budget, baby boy, that is a test that she just failed. I don't want to take you out no more. You just trying to take advantage of me. I don't even know you and you ordering $100 worth of food. Look, all the women on here, it is a test.
Why
it's a test. It's not the same type of test, but that's a test.
Why would that be considered a test?
Because you are taking a woman out to get to know her. You trying to see where her head is. You go out on a first date. Oh, shoot, I'm finna order a steak. Oh, let me get the lobster. I'm finna get a dessert. I'm gonna get a second dessert. You being greedy. Some men are like, oh, hell no, I'm not taking her out again. She don't even know me that well. Why she ordering all that stuff? That's a test. And women fail that test all the time.
I never saw that as a test, more so as a respect of a budget.
It's a respect of a budget, but you're testing her to see if she respects your budget. It's a test.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. She tested him to see does he respect her more than just sex, or if it was just sex. So if he said, "Oh, it's just sex,"
it's very immature to test, but I don't.
It's an immature test.
I don't know.
But that's why Steve said that. Now Steve still could have addressed where she messed up, but he did not. I don't know.
I feel like even if I'll say this, a woman, and it's so different because a woman 9 times out of 10 won't even take a dude out. But if a dude was to say, hey, I
agree. Unfortunately, that is what it is. I'm not gonna take a guy out because that's you're supposed to pursue me. That's not what I was.
Well, see, and I disagree on that completely too.
I don't.
I do. I disagree on the whole pursuing anybody.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You pursued me, doesn't
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
I didn't take you out on the first date.
No, we didn't. But I also didn't. But you also had certain thoughts on me because of the way I sat up here and addressed you. I did not. It doesn't matter.
But my point is that
I did not.
My point is that you had to take me out on a date before I was gonna go Dutch with you. That wouldn't happen on the first date. It did. I don't know who you dated before me, but most people are not gonna date. Most women are gonna want a date first. That's just the way it is.
Okay, so I'll explain this. Some ladies listen very clearly. The reason why I paid is because I invited you. Had we said we are agreeing to show up, I wouldn't have paid for you. Because the thing is, we're agreeing mutually to show up. I'm not sitting up here and trying to date you. And when we went out, I was not trying to date you. I went out with you because we had a nice conversation. I enjoyed your company. Mm-hmm. Dating you was nowhere near my mind. Okay. It did not come up later. It didn't come up until later. So, because I didn't. It literally became...
He doesn't like to say that he pursued me for whatever reason, but that's what happened.
I didn't pursue you because the whole thing was, like, as we've said, and you can flex in front of YouTube if you want to.
I'm not flexing in front of YouTube.
But the whole thing we both said...
You did pursue me.
No, I didn't.
So I just randomly started talking to you.
You randomly slid in my DMs on Instagram, asked me how my scalp got greased.
And I've told that story before, right, but that was because of you pursuing me at a party.
No, I did not pursue you at a party. And here's the reason I know I did not. We were sitting over here and we had a conversation, and I remember this. Nah. Nah, not at all.
See, Leah, that makes sense though, because y'all met each other online and y'all didn't know each other yet. And that's kind of what he was just saying. If y'all agreed together to meet up,
Right.
then you could do that. But Desmond, you asked me out on a date. You were like, "What are you doing on Tuesday?"
Do you?
And
I
you
said,
took
do you
me
want to
out
go to
on a
lunch?
date.
No, I didn't take you out anywhere. We met at Cinco. I asked you, do
But
you
you
want to go to?
invited me. I wasn't going to Cinco by my damn self, baby.
I asked you, did you want to go to lunch and join me? You said after I paid for the bill, thank you for paying, because you did not expect me to pay.
Okay.
You didn't expect me to pay.
I don't remember that.
I do very clearly, because Josiah was eating blue and green crayons before you started eating guacamole.
Can we change the subject, because you're getting on my nerves right now?
But the thing is,
Desmond proposed to me.
Yeah, I proposed to her, because
but he didn't pursue me though. But he proposed.
And you made it very clear before I even said anything about marriage that, hey, I really hope November.
The first day I met you, you brought up marriage. No, you first day that I met you.
Yosha, you also brought it up because you had sat up here and just broke up with Javallo. And I remember the conversation because you and Jelly, I was sitting up here and talking to somebody about something. And you and Jelly was like, I was like, damn, y'all sound like somebody mama. And you was like, I am somebody mama. And then y'all went into the conversation of her and Mr. Sam's Club. And then the issue she was having with said conversation.
Why can't you be proud that you pursued me though?
Because I didn't.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying.
Fine. We don't gotta keep going.
As a guy,
thank you, Leah.
We
don't have to go. You can say that you can say
because
that you can
guy,
say that you did not pursue me.
I didn't. Fine. It was mutual.
The feelings were mutual.
Okay.
The
desire was mutual.
I messaged you. The desire was mutual. But if you did not work for me, we would not be together. And if you don't believe that you did, then...
Okay, do you realize you worked for me just as hard?
Maybe, but not really.
Maybe you did.
Just because I messaged you in your DMs.
No, it wasn't the messaging in DMs, Yosha.
Correct. It was the effort behind the conversation. You asked me. No, it wasn't the effort behind the conversation. I'm not trying to argue. And I'm not gonna keep going back and forth. Okay. But you do this every time. Like you can't admit. It's like, what's wrong with admitting that you love me or that you?
I didn't say I don't love you.
That's the way it's coming off.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's me telling you the truth.
How you gonna tell me how it's coming off for me?
Okay.
It's coming off for me like you're embarrassed. I slid in his DMs after we met at a party because he did not ask for my number, but the conversation went very well. So I thought that.
Hold on, it's gonna freeze for a second. I have to turn something off. I can't exit this.
Hold on.
I didn't say she wasn't a prize. Men are gonna see things differently because the way you create a scenario in your head, I can tell Yosha after we get off here a bunch of different times in the way that she did and why, and she will go, yeah, I did do that, but she won't sit up here and say it here because in her mind it was not the pursuit and she did not see it that way. That's fine.
I still don't see it that way.
I know you don't.
Because I stopped chasing men after my situation prior to meeting you.
I didn't say you chased.
So I don't feel like going in your DMs was a way
I'm not talking about the DMs. I'm talking about way after the DMs.
You can be right.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not about being right. It's an example.
It is for you because every time I talk, you keep saying it's the opposite. So we can agree.
I said it was a mutual. I didn't say you just pursued me or I just pursued you. I said it was mutual, in which it was.
And I said the desire was mutual, but you did the work that was necessary for us.
As did you.
I'm not saying I didn't, but you had to take the first step to get us there. Yes, I'm gonna reciprocate the energy that you gave me, but you made the first step. You said you love me first. You pursued me. And that's okay.
Okay.
It's not bad for you to pursue me. Like
did I say that was a problem?
Your energy is like, no, I didn't do no. And I'm just like, what's wrong with pursuing me? Like,
because I'm telling you, like I said, it's a lot of examples where I can say certain things you've definitely said when we first met and said even afterwards while we were in the middle that you did, that you would sit up here and say would qualify if I was the dude as pursuing. But because you do not want to, you definitely don't want to sit up here and say that because it would be embarrassing and almost ruin the way you created the love story in your mind. That's why I said that.
Thank you. Look, they want us to shut up, y'all. We going back and forth. They like, thank you, y'all. I appreciate it. I don't know. All I'm trying to say is, it's nothing wrong either way.
Well,
Like,
no. What I was saying earlier is that it's nothing wrong with women pursuing guys, but because it's such a traditional thing, it's nothing wrong with
I
that.
think it is something wrong with
Why?
women pursuing guys.
Why?
Because I've done it and it does not work. When a woman pursues a man and the
Hold
man
on.
doesn't really like her, it doesn't really work
Here's my
out.
right. So here's the question: Are
It
you pursuing somebody who showed you that they want you and want you long term, or are you pursuing somebody who just wants something from you? Because those two things are different. If you're pursuing somebody who truly wants you, and as a guy, I can say that all the time. You,
I don't think that women were made to. Hey,
hey,
Afua.
Afua.
Exactly. Eggs do not chase sperm, and I don't feel like women were meant to pursue men. Every time that I tried it, it did not work out for me.
But who are
I feel
you
like the man
pursuing?
has to make the first step, and y'all grow to each other. And you can reciprocate the energy that he's giving you. But, like, I'm sorry to say this, but it's good advice for a woman to be with a man that likes her more first.
I disagree with that
because
completely.
because if not, you're gonna be chasing somebody that doesn't feel the same way about you as they do, and they may not respect you.
Well, it's the same thing for guys, and
No,
that's
because
yes, it is. No,
y'all were
listen,
meant to
listen,
pursue us.
because I'm speaking from experience, and here's the reason I can say this:
Experience
as a
with me
no,
or
I'm saying
experience with
experience with
others.
women in general, you as well, and you've had certain you when we first started dating had certain qualities, and I threw you for a loop, and you told me later on that you thought I did not like you because there were certain things that I did not do. And I told you why. Guys, yeah, you should understand that you can show your
How do
interest.
you define pursue in this case? I'm about to Google it because maybe we using
Because
the wrong choice of
I
words.
would say if you're
Pursue
pursuing, meaning you're
definition.
constantly always feeling like you're going out of your way, you're not looking
To follow someone or
in,
something in
in
order
order
to
to
catch
catch
or
or
attack
attack. And
them,
that was
to continue or proceed along a path or routine,
right. But that was, and that's the thing. That's as a guy,
to
when
chase, to follow, to go after.
right. And the thing is, that's what I'm saying. If we're looking at that definition, I did not. Because I did not chase you. And I knew I was not going to, and I sat up here and told you why that first night we met, that I was not chasing anybody, and I always stand true to that. I even tell Jordan and stuff that Jordan chased Keandra for a while before he said, you know what, forget it, I'm good without you. And then after he stopped, for some reason, it changed, and she drew back because he was not giving her that attention she wanted, and he realized it's fine, I can move on. A guy does not have to pursue when he's confident in self. When he understands that I can do without your sex, I can do without your company, I can do without you in general, I don't have to pursue you. So as a guy,
And
when I
at
was
the
in that
same token, when a woman knows her worth, she's
she
not gonna pursue you either,
I didn't
because
say
she
she
can do
has
without
to.
your sex. She can do
Right.
without your conversation. She can stand on her own 2 feet.
Right, which is
So
why I said
that's
there
why I'm
has to
saying
be
I
a
did not
under.
chase you either. I'm not saying you chased me. I used the word pursue, and in pursue I meant you went after the relationship with me. When you got my number, you talked to me every day. You
As did
kept
you.
conversations going every day,
As did you.
based on how you started
Right,
that,
but it was
Desmond.
no different. Y'all
So I'm
still,
not
if
saying that I
stuff,
did not reciprocate, but Desmond,
I did not.
I'm your wife. I am meant to submit to you. I'm meant to follow your lead. Listen to me when I
But
say
him,
the way I treated you was the base on how you treated me. I followed your lead on how you started our relationship with each other. Without you taking the lead, it would have never happened. That's what I'm
I
telling you. Even though I slid in your DMs, if you wouldn't have asked for my number and been consistent,
I
we
did.
wouldn't. It wouldn't have went anywhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
What I'm
I'm not
saying,
saying you chased me or
what I was
I was playing games or hard to get and
no,
you went after
what
me.
I
I'm just
was
saying that you took the lead and I followed. That's all I'm trying to say.
what well see, and that's why I said I didn't, but I didn't because the thing is, you sent me the DM, you sent your number, and
Who
then
asked for the number?
you sent it. You
Go
sent your
on.
number. I did not
Okay, when
ask
we
you.
get off,
No,
we going on Instagram.
I can go on
We
Instagram.
are going on Instagram.
We're gonna go on
so I can
Instagram
look
because
I
I don't
I
believe
recall
that
you asked for my number after we were going back and forth on Instagram for a while. You were like, well, something about, well, let me get your number after that.
I did say that, Tori, but I also believe that there's a leftover spot, and that the wife also finds a good thing, and I think that's something that I personally have an issue with.
I guess if I randomly set my number and I don't remember, I
I
apologize.
remember you
But
saying you wanted to continue the conversation, because when I got that conversation, it was the back half of the afternoon, and if I'm not mistaken,
I
I
was
talked to you.
at Applebee's with my cousins and it was nighttime.
No, it wasn't, because I was sitting at my desk at Fulton County. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No, it wasn't, because
3, 4.
No,
it wasn't like booty call hours.
No,
y'all,
it was like 4 o'clock.
We were at Applebe's. I feel like we were at Applebee's getting some wings.
The only reason I remember this is because I got branded on Monday and you DM'd me on Tuesday. The reason I remember that is because I was at Francis' house. I had literally just got my brands the day before. So when you hit me up, at that point, Tuesday was your off day.
Baby, you're so stubborn.
No, Tuesday was your off day.
What was we supposed to be talking about?
No, basically what we were saying is
y'all, you know what? This is what we gonna do. You go back to my YouTube channel, y'all. The video where we talked about dating Bay or whatever from like 2 years ago. We shared our story and his tone was completely different. And so we can just go back that video. It's actually on YouTube.
Basically what I'm
and if Fool wants to understand your point, because you're offending all the ladies on my timeline right now. Because they agree with me. But go ahead.
They're going to, because of the way I talk. What I'm saying is, guys who pursue, 9 times out of 10 are not respected and are placed in a category. Now, when we sit up here and we say who finds a wife finds a good thing, for some reason that seems to transfer over to happy wife, happy life, which is always not facts, because when most women who do not sit around guys, when guys are in barbershops, and understand that every guy who just keeps a woman happy is not always happy. He does it to keep down confusion, not to be happy.
What's that got to do with you pursuing me?
If you hear me, give me a second. What I was saying is, the reason I said I did not pursue you is because I did not. I was not chasing you. What I said was, when we first met, I needed a friend more than I needed a girlfriend. Is what I said the night I met you, and what I've always said. I needed a friend more than I needed a girlfriend. The fact that you lined up with something that was good was cool. That's fine. You lined up and we said, hey, we're on an even path. And once we were on that even path, even you said, I did not give you certain emotions, especially with sexuality, of me sitting up here and trying to sleep with you. And it threw you off, and it made you look at me in a certain light. Well, she's saying she's not saying it as Greek, but she's saying it as...
I know what she means. I'm being petty.
And I'm saying... I said I want to hear my life as a friend. What I'm saying is, I did not need her as my spouse.
He's not lying about that,
because I've always said that.
When we initially started talking, we really were just kind of getting to know each other on a friend level. Although we did go on a date. We went to lunch. We weren't like dating. We weren't having sex. We weren't trying to like move too quickly. And I wasn't sure that he liked me like that until he asked me on the date. If that makes sense.
And I asked her the first date we went to lunch, and Josiah came.
Talking about the date.
And then the second time we went out by ourselves. But what I was saying is, cool. I can get to know you better when as a friend, when your guard is not down. When we're doing something fun, most people will talk about themselves. I was not asking her anything about what she liked in a guy. I was not asking her anything about past people she dated. I was saying, who is Yosha? Like, cool, can I get... Eventually, as did hers, because those conversations we had, and if you ask Yosha, I did not bring up anything else until we were both mutual. And that's why I said that. It's cool. My mind did change once she started to check off certain boxes. Cool, but I also was not going to sit up here and say, yo, I'm going to pursue her because she fits. No, we going to see some mutuality first. Because if I can't be your friend and I'm pursuing you, you're not going to respect me as a person. And I needed that way more than that. I needed her to love me at that moment. If you did not respect me as a person first and see me as an equal as a person, then we could not go forward. That's what I'm saying. I didn't pursue her. I pursued.
Yeah, I will say I do feel like we had a good friendship foundation. And I feel like what attracted me to him is like I had a vulnerable moment where I was just really in a bad place. And I mistakenly butt dialed Des. And he could tell that something was wrong. And I was just like, well, it's okay. I'll talk to you later. And he was like, well, what's wrong? And I was just like, well, can you pray for me? And I remember that we prayed together on the phone. And to me, that really stood out to me compared to any person I ever spoke to, because like I was saying, it was not a test, but in a way it was a test that he ended up passing, because it was like, how many guys when you're single will actually pray with you when you're about to damn near cry, you know what I'm saying, over something that, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, that made me really see, like, this is a good person. This is a person that is a good friend outside of anything. So
And
that's when I really started to have more feelings for him at that point, and want to really get to know him. And like my friend Afua that y'all see, like, that's one of my best friends. She was in my wedding. She remembers, like, I'm pretty sure all of them remember when we were dating, and like my close friends will remember we were dating, and like how I just started glowing, and I was happy because I had like a friend, and it kind of evolved and it became like a romantic relationship, but I felt like he had my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to cause a big argument and make it all awkward and
I'm
stuff.
not trying to cause an
I'm
argument.
just saying that I felt like you pursued me. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have continued talking with you. Because there were other guys. Like, it was a guy that I was friends with. We never had sex or anything like that, but he wanted to have sex with me, and it was obvious. But I just, I could feel slime in my spirit, and I didn't go for it. And it was like, he would check on me, but it was like I could tell that he was just checking on me to make it seem like he cared, because he wanted sex from me. And to make a long story short, he had ghosted me completely, but his signs were very, very similar to people that had hurt me in my past. So I had learned from it, and like I'm saying, Des just was not like that. So that's why I continued talking to him. It were other guys that tried to pursue me as well, but their actions didn't line up with the fact that they're saying they want to do things with me or whatever.
Right. And the thing that I will say with Yosha is that, I made it very clear, even to,
yeah, I really started to use my intuition more. And my intuition with you was a positive one because of how you acted.
Right.
And even if it was a problem with something, you would follow through with your words. People that don't really have best intentions don't follow through with their words. And even like in this dating scene, when a guy is not serious about you, if y'all are texting and the conversation ends because you fell asleep, it won't continue the next morning. They may go 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 30 days without texting you, and then all out of the blue hit you up like they didn't just ghost. You never did that. From the day you got my number, we've been talking ever since. That's all I'm saying. That never happened to me with anybody else.
But okay, so let me break this down, because what I'm saying is, when we talked that first night we met, more than anything, we both said we needed a friend.
Right.
I had just got out of a relationship where my ex broke up with me over the phone. So when I tell you I was not looking for anybody, I was not looking for anybody. I had my
clarity, I had literally just broke up with my baby's father. After being together with him on and off for like 7 years, I was finna go into the hotation and live my best life. My ass wasn't looking either. I was at my line sister's birthday party. It was a flop. We done told this story on my channel, but I'm gonna tell it to y'all because y'all are new and y'all don't know the story. So, except Afua. If Afua is still here, she knows it, but it's okay. She don't mind. So, the party was a flop. I was coming to drink and to have fun, and my line sister was not in a good mood because her party wasn't going as it was supposed to go because people wasn't showing up. So me and Desmond were like drinking and talking, and my friend Kayla was there, and like she was like, "Oh, look at y'all talking and stuff," and we were just talking, but it was like we were talking about life and politics, kind of like we're doing right now. The conversation was just like this.
It was the same thing,
and then I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm not gonna tell every detail from the party. Nothing sexy or nothing happened, but we just vibed, and and we talked about marriage, and he was talking about how he wants to eventually live a good life and get married and have children, and I'm like, oh, okay, I want that too. I already got a child, but I see myself getting married and stuff as well. I'm not really, I wasn't looking for no relationship, okay? Like, I was still trying to heal from the pieces from the past relationship. Now, I already knew I wasn't going back. I wasn't at a point where, oh, I might be back with my baby daddy. No, like, that was dead. Like, y'all can go down from 2015 and watch some videos on why that was dead, okay? Infidelity led me to the clinic, and I was embarrassed. That's all I'm going to say. So, that was dead. But I wasn't looking for that. But it was something different about him. So, when he didn't ask for my number, I was like... But, oh, wait. He didn't ask for my number, but I made him subscribe to my YouTube channel because I've been on YouTube this long, y'all. So I was like, oh, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So he subscribed to my YouTube channel. And he followed me on Instagram, which is how I got the DMs. We had to exchange something now. And that's how I slid in the DMs. Because I was like, well, maybe he'll message me first. And he didn't. So then I was like, Tuesday, I was at Applebee's with my cousins. And one of my line sisters was like, hey, that boy that you were talking to at the party, did he ever message you? And I was like, no, he didn't. And I was like, well, I saw some on his story. You know, he had some, Desmond had, like, not dreads yet, but it was like a little fro. So when we were talking at the party, he was saying something about his scalp being dry. So when he was on his story scratching that big old head of his, I was like, well, did you find somebody to oil your scalp or something stupid?
And I was like, nah, I didn't.
That was, you know, don't make me just sound like I didn't threw that thing in the DM.
I didn't say you did.
But you got to provide clarity. So here I am to provide the connection of the dots.
And that was where we started.
From there, I'm not even going to say Desmond asked for my number. I'm going to just say somehow my number and we got each other's number from there. And we built our relationship from there. Friendship, relationship from there.
Because at that point, and as Yosha knows now and as other people know now, I had my whole own situation.
If I was single, would I date somebody with multiple baby mamas? I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you're what's it called? A dog mom? You're a dog mom. I am afraid of dogs, but I like when people be like, I'm a dog mom.
But anyway, at that point,
I don't know. Cause you know what? Before I would say this, I'm gonna be real honest with you. Before I became a mom, before I had kids, I would have not wanted to date a man with kids or baby moms. That was before I had kids. Once I became a mom and I was a single mom, I was like, well, damn, you know, I probably would date somebody that had kids because I have a kid and I'm a good catch. And I don't want somebody to not want to date me because I have a kid, because I'm not the typical person that might go back to my baby daddy and stuff. Like, you know, no, I'm not. Not this time. We did that for a long time, but not this time. I'm done. So, but a lot of people won't date women with kids if they don't have any because they're like, oh, nah, like, she probably still messing with him, blah, blah, blah. So I had to realize, like, you know, everybody is not built to date somebody that has kids. He took it out of the thing, y'all, and it didn't. My case holder didn't like it. So let me put this back on. My bad. This angle is unexcusable. My bad, y'all. Ooh. Okay. Oh. He moved my tripod. I had it situated, y'all. All right. Ooh, that's an ugly angle. Leave it to my husband. All right. Now that he gone to the bathroom. Y'all know he pursued me, but we gonna just let him think what he wanna think. Anyway, that man crazy. I don't know. I forgot my point because his phone, like, we're on an iPhone and like it's making me want to go get one this weekend for real. But I was gonna say, it's so clear, like, oh my gosh, but I forgot. It's okay, Kayla. Hey, Kayla. Honestly, I have not been. I hate this. I don't want to make you feel scared, but honestly, I have not been back to the weight that I was at before I got on that birth control. I was still dating my son's father when I got on it, and when I first got on it, I was 214 pounds, and by the time I got off of it, I was like 245 pounds, and today I'm like 258. But that was not my heaviest. So in 2018, I was stressed because we were getting married. I didn't know that cord was in the. Is it? No.
No, it's not. The camera's
Oh.
on the other side.
I was stressed because we were getting married. We bought a house, all that in the same year. And I gained like 30 more pounds after getting off Nexplanon. So my highest weight was like December 2018. I was 278. Last year, I had got down to 254. And today I'm 258 because I gained weight over the holidays. So I've been able to lose weight, but I have not gotten back down to the size that I was before I got on it. I'm not saying that that would be your situation. And there were other factors like, lack of exercise, diet, but I'm not even on birth control now and I have trouble losing weight. So I don't know, but I didn't get back on any birth control because I felt like that birth control blew me the hell up. And I'm still big. Like when I could post a picture of me and my husband when we were initially dating. We were both much smaller. Des has almost lost all the weight he gained, but thank you, Afua. I've been working out, y'all. I'm trying. So my goal for this year is to lose 60 by the end of the year. And I'm just doing 5 pounds a month. And I'm trying not to be stressful about it. I'm not trying to put that pressure on myself because I still look good. Like I carry my little 250 well, but I miss Wonderland, okay? When I was before a mama, my heavy weight was like 180, okay? And I wore it well. So I'm just trying to get back down to like if I can get back down to like 210, I'd be happy with that because it looks better on me. But I'm not stressing myself out about it. I'm just trying to like, eat better, eat more at home. I work out. Y'all be seeing me post my little community pictures. I do Zumba. Um, I've been doing it about 3-4 days a week. And I'm thinking about doing like pescatarian eating next month just for 28 days just to try it out. Fruits, veggies, no fat, fried foods, no fast food, and just do like fish. If my budget can't allow just fish, maybe I'll do ground turkey and fish only. And lots of green leafy vegetables. But yeah, that next one my body haven't been the same since I've been on it. I experienced like an ovarian cyst after getting off of that. I never had one before. It went away. It was small and it dissolved, but I don't know. I haven't got back on birth control. Like I know this is probably TMI, but me and him, we use condoms. Like I don't trust it because it caused me to feel slightly depressed. I was moody as hell when I was on it, and I gained all that weight. So I'm not on no sort of birth control. And like I said, I never knew that those videos would touch so many people. I just was sharing my experience, just like I do with the baby daddy video and the prison dating somebody, blah, blah, blah. That was just me being honest. Yeah, use the Lord. We use the Lord too, and the ovulation count your cycle tracker. And condoms. We do use condoms. So my doctor prescribed me some pills and I never took them. I was supposed to take them and I was afraid. I was like, y'all just recommended something for me last time and then it made me gain a lot of weight. But I do hear that birth control pills are very good for like the lowest amount of hormones, and they usually don't cause weight gain. That's what I've heard. But anything that's an insertion like Depo, please don't get on Depo either. I never tried it because I knew lots of ladies that blew up. And next one on, no, don't do it. And see, I didn't even know about the IUD. I heard that IUDs are not bad. It was like one of my like friends. She said you can get an IUD if it's a copper IUD, but if it's not a copper IUD, then it's not good. So I don't know. If you have a regular cycle, I have a regular cycle. Before I had Josiah, it used to be every 28 days. After having Josiah, it's every 26 to 27 days. All I do is I keep track of it. I write the day that my cycle starts, and then I try not to have sex without a condom or at all in the middle when I'm ovulating. And often you can tell when you're ovulating by when you have a bowel movement, you'll see like a clear discharge. That, and you'll feel warmer than normal. Your basal temperature goes up. You just kind of have to be in tune with your body. I know that's like TMI, but it's true. I know when I'm ovulating, and I get extra horny at that time too, and it's not fair because it's like you trying to set me up for my kids. But you have to track it. Like if you're not gonna use protection, and honestly, that does work. I used to do it before when I got pregnant, but that was irresponsibleness that led to my pregnancy. Okay, being intoxicated and people purposely leaving things aside. That's We don't do that over here, because we're not trying to get pregnant. Now, when we want to get pregnant, we will, but I'm not trying to, you know. So anyway, I don't know how we got on birth control. Oh, I do know how we got on birth control because I make birth control videos in the past. But yeah, y'all, I'm just being honest. Like, you gotta prepare. The whole friends with benefits conversation. It looks like we were saying it cannot. Did we say it could work
Most
out or
people
not?
said it can't.
It can't work out. It didn't work out for me. I had a friend from childhood. And I've told Des this story. He knows all my business, but we ended up making that move or whatever, and I would say we don't have bad blood, but we don't speak to each other as much out of respect for me, at least on my end. And I just feel like it changed the relationship. Like I didn't catch feelings, and I don't know if he caught feelings or not, but it was just like once it works until the person wants to get into a new serious relationship. That's what I think. Like it's awkward for the new significant other. The new significant other don't want you to be sitting there kikiing with somebody that you done laid up with. They're gonna be like, she still got feelings for you. I don't like that. And the one that goes in the arm, Miss Elite, that's the next one on. I think that's the one we're talking about. I had that one. His next one on, formerly known as Implanon. I had that one in my arm for almost 2 full years. It was supposed to go in for 3 years, but I took it out at 20 months because I felt depressed and I had gained a lot of weight. That's the one I'm talking about. Absolutely. I feel, especially, it's usually the woman that catches feelings. Like the man, I really do believe men can have sex and it's just sex. I really do.
It's women who can too.
Some women can, but a lot of women that are emotional cannot. Like they attach it to, it has to be something. She said, unless it's a pimp, like you're a pimp like me, then it's the man. I have some friends that don't care, but I've never been that friend. But you know what? Let me tell you something, because I said this once before, but I say it again a long time ago. I think that women attach to good sex, because I did have an experience with somebody that sucked completely. And because of the person that I am, I'm like, oh man, body count, women are taught you can't have a high body count, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, let's try it again. Try it again. Awful. Okay, third time gonna be a charm, right? No, awful. And I completely didn't want to talk to this person anymore. Don't try to take me out on a date. I'm good. But all my other situations that were pleasant, I feel like I attached more. So I think that women attach to good sex and want more from the person. Bad sex, what are you attaching for? Like, you're not being fulfilled. You're not getting anything from it.
Some women that I've talked to, especially being an RA, they attach because the person's a good person. And I think that's something that you don't always get women who do it, but you get some of them who.
Wow, that should be, because I'm like, did I know that one? I don't think I knew. What Destiny said.
Yeah, I learned that freshman year in college. The more and more women. Here's the thing.
Is that why I love you so much?
I mean, that's a part of it, but one thing that I learned my freshman year in college, the more and more that a guy sleeps with a woman, the more and more when you start to have sex, she starts to smell like you. You can tell. Like if a dude is smart and you know what, you pay attention to smells during sex, and then you turn around and have sex one day and it don't smell like you, something's off. She's sleeping with somebody
I've
else.
heard that one before though.
Because you release certain things, and it's not sperm, but it's certain things like pheromones where she starts to smell like you, and when she no longer smells like you, we have a problem. So you start to understand that, but it's one of those things that you get to understand those things. I can't
Well,
remember what it's called either, but yeah, I learned that a while ago. That's why you can tell. And then the thing is, as guys,
no,
the,
it just mean he got a strong deodorant. Desmond wears strong deodorant too.
and the thing is, as guys, normally you can pick up on when things are different. Like, which is like you
So
can
y'all are
pick
more
up.
instinctive than we think you are.
What do you
Cause,
mean?
'Cause you're saying you can pick up on things that we don't expect.
No, y'all know y'all are doing it. Y'all, and most of the times women don't care, or they're sneaking around, and guys are just like behavior has changed. It's kind of like when guys start doing other stuff. Women and men are not different in that way that they always say women cheat better. They do when you're not paying attention. But women have telltale signs just like guys, where women have certain telltale signs just like
I
guys.
understand that.
And it's just not hard to find out if you're paying attention to it, which is why
I mean,
you get more guys who
if you
think
care about the
logically.
person, if
No,
you
even if you don't care, guys, I can tell you, I've known plenty of guys who pick up on it. Don't care a dime, but they understand your phone. When a woman stops caring about a guy, your phone starts to ring less. She starts to pop up less. When you're around her, conversations start getting shorter. She don't want to look you in the eye. She don't really even want to be in your presence because 9 times out of 10, if you really know her, certain looks, certain vibes give you the vibe that something's wrong. I can tell you when something's wrong with you over the phone.
but you just said because when you really know her.
Yeah, but even still, like you have certain. I realized with you when we were just friends, there are certain things you do when you're not happy. There's a certain way your tone changes. After about 3 or 4 times, I realized, oh, she's not happy. Her tone is down. I can tell when Saya made you mad because I can hear you. You're not grinding your teeth.
Destiny is funny. I'm trying to. What's wrong with my mouse?
I don't know.
Oh, because you got your thing on it.
You adjusted that like that, not me. You start to it's certain
Put this
things you
on
if
here
even if you
like
don't
that.
even if you don't care, but you're observant, you can pick up on certain things. It's just like reading people. You start to read certain traits, but because most guys don't care, they don't pay attention until it's too late. You gotta pay attention.
You gotta go.
Oh yeah, I always sleep over there. That way you ain't gotta clean sheets or wash nothing. Get up and go.
You don't gotta tell me I had a life before you.
I know, but I'm saying for dudes be don't always have her in your spot. Go and dip.
No, I'm coming over to your house so you can wash your sheets.
Don't always come to my spot. Shit. I was finna say something, but that's a little TMI. But yeah, I mean when you I don't know, man. Women and men are not that different, honestly. It's just that certain you don't have certain leeways.
Yeah.
Certain things are expected, other things are not expected, and certain things are respected amongst different crowds.
So how do we change the way that we? How do we change the way that we? Excuse me. How do we change the way that we treat men and women? Like, how do we break the norms or whatever in our relationships going forward? Because in talking with respecting you, I feel like women's sexuality should be respected more too.
I agree.
Because y'all get to be hoes and we don't.
Y'all do. Y'all just get afraid of being called a hoe. That's more so
no.
term. Yeah.
We can be a hoe.
No, you can't.
We cannot be a hoe and get the same respect that you as a man gets for being a hoe. You get to be a hoe and it's all right.
Yeah, you can, but you got to realize who you're around. I think the biggest thing of it is that people why you hide it? You don't want to.
Oh no! How do I do it? Uh-oh.
You can't. She would have to just tell her to
Hold
redo the
on,
message.
view.
You can't. You gotta tell her to.
Sorry, Destiny. I did it so fast and then it blocked it and I wasn't trying to.
There
You can
is
type it
a.
again and I'll approve it.
I agree. There is a double standard.
There is definitely a double
I
standard,
didn't
and
say that it's not.
it's not fair. So it's
But
like the same way
but do
that
you remember who created?
wait, it's like the same way that you're saying that men's bodies need to be respected, and we need to be teaching our boys and being receptive to pleasing our men and making sure that they feel valued. At the same token, women should be able to explore their sexuality the same way without any judgment.
Tori just it what happens starts at home, and the thing is, just like
Exactly, Tori. Thank you.
when you look at femininity amongst men, that started with men. Just like with women, women will sit up here, like you said, your mom said, don't go out there being fast. Your mom didn't. That was the first thing she said that she put in your head about it. Don't go out there being fast. She put a negative connotation on it first. Just like as a guy, when most men who are hyper masculine, as they've been deemed, have a feminine son, as we have a family member who we've seen do that before. I'll tell you after we get off. Done that before, and they get hyper masculine. They get very uptight about femininity and how you don't want him to be super feminine. I don't think that the issue is that people have valued certain things and being valued in the eyes of other people as not being a certain thing, that now it is stuck and you're trying to make sure you avoid a title. You're not worried about your own sexual health because you sitting up here and folks are sleeping around with folks who don't value them, and then their opinion starts to stick and it spreads, just like we said about other stuff in the bedroom. People are not respective enough of, I can respect this person enough to not bring up what was done. And the thing is, as long as everybody keeps blasting everybody, if women stop letting everybody else call, if women stop calling each other hoes,
if men stop calling us hoes,
no. Hear me out first. If women stop calling each other hoes and you start bonding, you create a solidarity there, and you start accepting that if any man calls any other woman a hoe, you won't deal with him. That shit'll stop. But there has to be a solidarity and a bond amongst women first to knock that out. Then men. Men are not going to stop as long as women continue to do it first. Because when you do it to another woman, you make it okay for him to do it to another woman. When you bring barbershop talk into the nail salon, then it becomes nail salon talk. You can't do that. When you sit up here, you cannot do that. You have to sit up here and say, you know what, we ain't taking this, we ain't accepting it. You want to go out there and explore your sexuality, go do it. I got your back. But if you don't have her back, why would you expect him to have her back? It's just like not being hyper masculine amongst men. If men come together and say, hey, you can cry, you can talk, it's okay to have feelings, and us as guys are going to stand together and say, you know what, I'm a guy, I'm human, I have the right to feel. Guess what, a woman, and if a woman say we ain't dealing with it, we ain't dealing. If we say we tell a woman we ain't dealing with it, we ain't dealing with it, it's done. That'll stop.
Keep trying to turn off.
It'll stop. But until the two genders come together and be solid amongst each other and stop infighting, you're not going to have solidarity against the other gender. It's just like anything else. Until the whole wall becomes solid, it's not going to stand.
Yeah.
You can't have weak points in the wall, but because people are good with going against other people and thinking, oh, well, the wall's still strong, even if I take this brick out and smash it because it makes me feel better. No, you just create a hole in your defense. You can't be strong together. But it again becomes, hey, how much do you respect her as a person, not to give your opinion and try to sit down and understand her first? If you don't try to understand why she lives the way she lives before you try to label somebody, you're going to keep running into that same issue. But because we don't care to understand people, if they don't agree with us, we run into the same issue. Quit trying to agree and try to understand. Whether you agree or not is not your job. That's not your job to agree. It's to respect. It's to understand. It's to protect. Because if you don't protect her, ain't nobody else finna turn around and protect you.
Hmm. What? It's still going. I'm just.
I can't see any of the comments. That was the only reason I said that. But I mean, I feel like that's the whole gist of that. That's the only way you get better is for folks to start to talk to each other and to try to just accept where people are, whether they agree or not. Um,
What
that's
is it
the only
called?
way things get better.
Gender. What was it called? Gender
Yeah,
privilege.
gender privilege.
I'm updating this because sometimes some people come back and watch the lives afterwards.
So I mean that's what that is. So, but that's the only way things change and get better.
Okay.
Without it, we don't make progress.
Where'd my chat go?
Yeah, I think you got to get back up to
No,
skip.
it's right
Yeah,
there.
skip the ad and then you're good.
All right. I
So,
had to rename this boo because I need folks to know.
well,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Tori. We come on here every Wednesday at 8:30-ish Eastern time. We were
You got to
on
include the
time. We were
ish.
on time this time, but then my phone kept on freezing. So your girl might be doing some phone shopping this weekend, even though I didn't want to. I was trying to wait till them taxes drop, but
It's either that or
my
we just
phone
gonna
done
have to
said
keep.
otherwise. Like, girl, you ain't gonna be able to do what you try. You trying to be great in 2020. This ain't trying to let me be great right now.
It's either that or we just gonna have to keep using my phone until that time
That
comes
too, because
along.
Des has a better phone than I
So,
do.
I mean, if that's what we gotta do, then that's what we gotta do.
Yep. But I really want to say thank y'all. Like, I really feel like
Yeah.
this is one of the best ones, despite of all the internet hiccups.
Yeah.
And if y'all want me to discuss anything else, please let me know. You can comment this video or this live stream. Although the live comments are going to go away once the video processes and posts. So if you have anything that you want me to do, like a video that will live on my channel about, feel free to comment it on my community tab. You can actually comment it under my last community post where I asked, can men and women be friends after being intimate? And if you have any ideas for next week, please let us know. We typically get our topics from somewhere
Everywhere,
everywhere,
yeah.
like life,
Random,
relationship stuff,
random conversations.
memes,
Yeah.
like, so, and I get them from y'all sometimes too, but yeah, like, I sincerely enjoyed this. I hope y'all all have a good night. I'm gonna try to go get some rest because I got to get up in the morning. Thank y'all for coming back. Some of y'all came to all 3 lives trying to rock with us. I so
Yeah, we
appreciate that
appreciate
because
that.
my phone was on the mess tonight, but it didn't stop anything. So, love y'all. Have a great night. I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Bye.